I would say be skeptical of authority. My father told me that when I was a young kid. People in authority lie. And we've seen a lot of that in our country, and people in the media lie.
One of the guys who's become really the best at it, and I'm so proud to have, even if I had 0.5% to do with a little bit of his evolution, of course, is Bobby Kennedy. Because the first time I had him on, I said, Robert, I don't know if you will be a Republican by the end of this thing, but I know you will not be a Democrat, when he still was a Democrat, and obviously that became true. So if I had even just the tiniest little glimmer that I put in his eye on that, I'm very proud of that. And now he's the head of HHS, and he's doing a bang-up job, and he went on CNN, and they got into a little bit of a debate with Kaitlan Collins about trusting the experts. And he just does a spectacular job here. This is just another example of that top 10 list I keep telling you we're going to do, of just every week we'll reorder. We'll start this when I get back from this trip, where we're going to take the top 10 people in the Trump administration, and just every day we'll reorder them, because it's just a great list of competent people who have better things to do, but they're trying to fix the government. That's pretty nice. And here's a good example of how to deal with the media 101.
You know, the message was to trust the science and what studies were finding and what
during
people were
COVID,
seeing.
that was a bad message. No, it was trust the experts. That's what you kept telling us. Trust the experts.
I don't know that I ever said that.
Well,
I mean, we talked to the officials. Actually,
your
during
network
COVID,
was saying it every day.
we took the briefings live every day with all of the experts that President Trump. Those were President Trump's doctors, but those were the people President Trump brought out to the briefings.
Well, President Trump brought, and I can.
He
if
brought
you
Dr.
want to go
Fauci
chapter
and Dr.
verse, I
Birx.
can tell you what President Trump did right and what President Biden did wrong. What I'm saying to you.
But I want to get back to what your comment was about that. You said that people should not take your medical advice.
Yeah,
that's your position?
Yeah, absolutely. People should not be taking medical advice. I'm somebody who is not a physician, but they should also be skeptical about any medical advice. They need to do their own research. You know, you're a mom. If you're a mom, you do your own research on your baby carriage, on your baby bottles, on your baby formula.
But they don't have medical degrees, obviously. If you're a mom and you're looking at what science has been tested, they trust their doctors and their pediatricians.
One of the responsibilities of living in a democracy where physicians and every sort of expert are subject to all kinds of biases. One of the responsibilities of living in a democracy is to do your own research and to make up your own mind.
So that's your message to moms or to anyone, is to do your own research.
I would say be skeptical of authority. My father told me that when I was a young kid. People in authority lie. And we've seen a lot of that in our country. And people in the media lie. And people need to make their own judgments and be skeptical and maintain their capacity for critical thinking. And that was shut down during COVID. And the media was complicit in that.
Disagree on that last part. Secretary Kennedy, thank you for your time.
Good to meet you, Kaitlan.
Well, you might disagree with it, Kaitlan, but it is the truth. You people ran cover for all of the people that without scientific evidence were telling us that we could go to restaurants and had to wear masks while we were standing and could magically take the masks off when we were sitting. You were telling us that a vaccine that turned out not to be a vaccine would prevent you from getting or transmitting COVID. We could do the laundry list of items. I don't feel like doing all of it. But good on Bobby. You are allowed to be skeptical, ladies and gentlemen. You're allowed to ask questions. And for him to go on these shows, and he basically said to her face, "You're a liar. You're a liar. You're working with liars. I don't like liars very much." And she just kind of bites the bullet at the end. Well, I disagree with you, but it is what it is.